Hello, hello, it's June Olson with Junebug Creations, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you live from Whitefish, Montana. And it is Monday, therefore it is Mystery Make-Along Monday, except if you saw my post earlier, I did not get the make-along part out to you so that you could make it along. I was thrown for a loop on Thursday with a text from my mom saying that my dad and her had spent the day at the ER and that my dad was going to be in the hospital. So yeah, my brain went elsewhere and other things were set aside for that moment. So I am here though to make a mystery card for you because Mother's Day is coming. So have you sent your Mother's Day card yet? I have not. I need to get mine in the mail tomorrow. So, good thing I'm making one now. So, the other question is, what is your mother's favorite flower? My mother's favorite flower happens to be daisies. Hello, Covina. Nice to have you on here. My mom likes daisies, which is one of the reasons I bought this set, the Cheerful Daisies. So today we're going to use it. If you recall last week, or if you had a chance to catch the replay, I used some of the DSP, the Designer Series paper from this set to make this simple card last week. Today we're going to use the stamps and the dies. So let's go ahead and switch over to the craft counter. Here is our stamp set. I'm not going to use any of the sentiments from this stamp set because they really don't apply. And sadly, the two Mother's Day sentiments that I had retired. So what I've done is I grabbed my color and contour, and I'm going to use, little black paper. I'm going to use You're Absolutely Amazing because I think my mom is absolutely amazing. And on the inside, I'm going to use the Thank You for Everything. That pretty much covers everything through my whole life that I am thank you for. So I'll be using the sentiments from color and contour, but we'll be using the flowers from the Cheerful Daisies. Today I'm going to try a new card, something I haven't even done, haven't even practiced or anything like that. But a friend of mine in my accountability group, Diane Evans, she said, give it a go. It's not hard. So I thought, you know what? Let's do that. So we've got here a piece of white, basic white, thick cardstock, cut at 4 1/4 by 11, and it is scored at 5 1/2. So we'll go ahead and fold this over. Hi, Missy. Not sure your mom's favorite flower. You want to say forsythia? I'm not even sure if I'm saying that right. Chrysanthemum, because she couldn't pronounce them. That makes sense. I always told her I would name my daughter Cynthia. Oops, you didn't. I think another cool flower name is ranunculus, which we had a stamp set called ranunculus something or other, and I just thought it was so cool. To me, it actually sounded like a Harry Potter word. Doesn't that sound like a Harry Potter word? Comment HP if you think that ranunculus sounds like a Harry Potter spell, right? I always thought it did, but I never got that set. I had a whole lot of flower stamp sets, and now I am actually down. So I have this one, I have this one, and I have this one, and it looks like that is it on the flower dies. That's pretty amazing. I went from almost all flower dies and stamp sets down to these. Now I still love this one and still plan to use it more. I've got some ideas coming. I didn't use it as much after the paper retired, so I didn't use it much last year, but since it did continue into this one, I definitely want to use it more, and I want to try that gold foiling, gold something. I can't remember what it's called, but this one works really good with it. I've seen, I have not done it yet. And of course, color and contour, there's these two flowers. I haven't used this one, but I have used this. So we'll see. But for today, we're gonna go with the Cheerful Daisies. All right, so my mom actually has 2 green thumbs or 10 green thumbs, depending on how you want to look at that. So she likes all flowers, but her favorite are daisies. So we're going to take our card, and we're going to take the front of our card, and we're going to cut 1/2-inch strips, 6 1/2-inch strips. So we have 1, 2, Now Diane Evans is on Facebook and on YouTube. She's got a big silver dragonfly behind her when you see her. She is one of my accountability partners. And she said she got this idea from Karen Titus. So it's trickling on down the line as things typically do. So that's 3, 4. If I talk too much, I'm going to forget to count. 4. Seems like a lot, but it's going to work. 5. And 6. All right, so that is 6 half-inch strips that we have taken off the front of this card. Now what Diane suggested, and I'm going to go with it because it sounds easier, and I've seen this card done. I don't remember who I saw do it, but I think it will be easier. I'm going to take my boho blue because I want it to kind of look like the sky's showing through. I thought about using green and maybe even cutting some grass and stuff, but decided I'm not going to go there right now. I'm going to glue this into here, but you don't want it pushed all the way up to the fold because you don't want it. So I have it cut just a little bit. So this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I have it cut, oops, that's the wrong one. I have it cut just a little bit shorter so it gives me some folding room here. All right, so I'm going to lay it down like this. No, I'm not. I'm going to do it like this. It makes more sense to do it this way. So I want it to be close to the fold, but not nearly. But when it folds over, I want it to cover the white. All right, so we're going to put some adhesive on here. All right, so yes, Harry Potter, it just really sounds like sometimes you got to clean your pin that you use for sticking and pull off all the glue because it gets too thick otherwise. So we'll stick this in here. If I can get it in there, maybe. Here we go. All right, so now we will, this is getting close to empty. Oh, come on, here we go. It's coming, it's just taking its sweet old time. Do you remember that commercial? You might not be old enough, but do you remember that commercial for ketchup? It was, and the song Anticipation. That always makes me think of it. All right, so I'm going to put that close to, but not right up to the edge, close to, and I want to line it up like that. That's why we like the green glue. It gives us some wiggle room. All right, and that way it opens up like this, and it'll give me something to glue to. All right, you can do it without this backing. I think it would be a little more challenging, and I wasn't in the mood for challenging today. I wanted something somewhat simple. So I just want to see how these lay down. So you're going to glue, you're going to do 4 of them, and this will go all the way to the bottom. And you'll space them out, and then we'll be doing this way. So it's going to look like a fence. But before we do that, we want to run them through the wood embossing folder, because that way it looks like a fence, right? A total fence. So I'm going to run them this way through. I don't think it really matters which way you run them through. I'm going to go across grain instead of with the grain, just to give it some extra character, like that. Put that in here. This is the Timber 3D. So because it's a 3D, all we need is plate 4 and plate 1. And then of course we need our machine. It is a 6x6 embossing folder, so we do need the large machine, the regular size machine, not the mini. If you like this boho blue, they do have a mini in boho blue up for sale. So not on sale, but for sale in the online store. So if you really want a blue mini, that might be a really fun thing for you. I have the white one, and I have this one. only need so many machines. If I were to buy another one, I would probably buy another one of this one because I use it so much for classes that we often have a line. So it makes more sense for me to get a regular sized one than another mini. So here we have our wood grained, here we go, our wood grained, let me see, there we go, our wood grained strips. And so now those look like fence posts. Okay, and this one's going to be a white picket fence because I used the white paper. All right, so we want to keep 2 of them to go straight up and down, and then the others will be laying across. I'm going to open this up just so that it lays a lot flatter. And then we're going to, actually I think I'm going to start from down here. And then just give it the equal spacing. Here we go. So you want to give it some equal spacing. I almost feel like that should have been the blue because that would be the sky up above. So I don't know. We'll get it sorted out. We're going to be adding flowers to the fence line anyways, so that's okay. All right, so that looks fairly evenly spaced. So now we're going to go ahead and glue those down. So if you didn't have the paper behind there, what you would have to do is lay these on first and then glue them down, and then glue them to these strips and then place it. All right, but since we have that blue under there, we're going to do that. Let's go ahead and glue these down. Not a whole lot of glue, just enough to get it to stick without splooshin' out. All right, so there's one. Just kind of doing a squiggly line across there. There's 2. If you have any, I have one hanging over the edge. If you have one hanging over the edge, you can just go back and trim it. It looks like they're all hanging over the edge. When you emboss, it tends to stretch the paper a little bit, so then it makes it look a little longer. So these are embossed, so therefore they're a little bit longer than they were, so they're hanging off just a little bit. Make sure I've got my fence fairly straight. So embossing lengthens the paper, essentially, is what I have discovered in my 8 years of doing this. All right, and I'll wait to trim them off until the end. Now these are supposed to go up here, but I don't need them to be that high. I don't want them to be that high, so I'm going to put them down a little bit, one on each side, and then I'll just trim those off. So I'm going to go ahead and put some up here and down here, and then I think I'm just going to put a little blotch of glue on each of those. Oh, I wanted that cut off. All right, so I've got glue where I'm cutting off. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that off so that I don't have glue all over the place, because I put glue in the wrong spot. Ooh, and it didn't even fall over the wrong way. That's impressive. All right, so let's go ahead and do this other one. So I'm going to do glue at the top, and then I'm going to do glue on each of these, kind of lining it up. And you want to make sure to have about the same amount over there. There we go, like that. And now I'll go ahead and cut this one off, as well as these right here. these little pieces that are just hanging over a smidge. There we go. Flip that a little close. All right, so now we have our fence. Look how cool that looks. We have our fence. Everyone say wood if you can see the wood grain. Can you see the wood grain? I think that looks really cool. All right, so I might have to try some new variations on this. Like I said, it's my first time playing with this. So now we're going to set this aside and we're going to bring in our stamps. And I'm going to use the smaller flowers for this. I'm going to use this one and the fill in. And the colors I'm going to use are the Moody Mauve and the new Bubble Bath. And we'll see how those, I think those will go together well. And then I think we'll do one of these. And then this little piece is the center. This little one, yeah, this little one. Is that the center? I think that's the center. It looks like it. Should fit. Yeah, because this one goes in here. So we're going to do that. And I think we'll go ahead and do a leaf as well. And for the leaf, I'm going to bring in the old olive. Because that will go really well with this. I'm wondering whether this pink might be too pink. Now let's give it a whirl. Let's see what it looks like. All right. Where's some white? We've got some white here. All right, I'm going to stamp first with the Moody Mauve for the outline. Excuse me. And then use the Bubble Bath for the inside. Let's see. And we'll do 2 of those. And let's check out the Bubble Bath. Ooh, that looks interesting. I don't think I've used it, so here we go. Whoop. All right, excuse my head. Oh, nice, fills in perfectly. Turn that back around, excuse my head. So you gotta kind of turn it until it fills in perfectly. All right, so there are those 2. Can you see that? There you go. That filled in beautifully. Easier than coloring, faster than coloring, but still wonderful. All right, so I've got those, and then I'm going to use the Moody Mauve to do these 3. And I'm going to do 1 in the Bubble Bath. So I need to use my Stampin' Chamois, or my Simply Chamois, to clean that off. And then we'll do another one. Better to have too many flowers than not enough flowers. There we go. All right. Now we just need a few leaves to cut out as well. Got to have some greenery, right? All right, so we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's see if we can squeeze another one in here. We'll see if that's going to work. I haven't played with these dies, so I'm not 100% sure, but we're going to go to it right now. We can always use another piece of white, so let's get these cut out. For cutting, we need plate 1, plate 2, which it looks like I need a new one because it's been damaged, so I'm actually going to turn it this way. The sticky stuff has been started to rub off. Looks like I need to clean this plate, and the way you can clean this is with like a brush and some soap at the kitchen sink. I know some people have put them through the dishwashers. I haven't tried that. I prefer the brush and the soap just to get out all the paper. We used this for our card. We did a lot of black this week or last week in our card club, so we used a lot of black paper, and so that's just the paper, what do you call it, the paper dust, the paper pulp, something like that. I can't think of what it's called. All right, so I'm going to cut these out like that, and then there's one leaf. Wow, only one leaf. Yikes. All right, so there's one leaf. Like that. And then we're using this flower right here. And we'll put that on. Ooh, I got that on the first shot. That's pretty impressive. All right, so let's run this through. Looks like everything's where I want it. All right, lay that down and run it through. So we'll have a few times to run it through. And then we've got lots of leaves, so we could just do 3 leaves. I had an idea as I was looking at those dies. They have a greenery kind of dye, so I might switch and do that. So there's that one, and then I'll go ahead and do this one over here. Take these out. So what all did you do this weekend? I spent the weekend, besides on the phone with my parents, I spent the weekend Saturday at a track meet in the pouring rain, like truly pouring rain. Every time it was Kitar's turn to throw, or when his group, his heat, his flight they call it, the group of boys that he was throwing with, every time it was their turn, it seemed like it would pour rain. It's like, really? When he has to throw, can't you not? So on my videos you can hear the rain pouring down onto my umbrella, because luckily I was smart enough to bring an umbrella this time. Oh, that one moved. So luckily I think I caught it before it cut it. Did I? Oh, well, nope. Let's see what that looks like. There we go. Whew. All right, let's see if it works. If you have a little boo-boo, you can always do some layers to kind of hide it. Yeah, you can't even tell. So then we have that leaf. We'll run this through again with this leaf, and where it goes. Where it goes, nobody knows. Round and round. Here we go. So, did anybody do some crafting this weekend? I know Missy and I both went to see, yeah, on Sunday we both went to see, not together of course, Guardians of the Galaxy. I was told it was the best, newest movie from Marvel yet, but I was a little disturbed by it myself. It was just sad, the backstory of the raccoon dude. It was sad, but that's okay. Overall, it was a good movie, and the good guys won, and that's what matters to me, is the good guys winning. If ever a movie has the bad guys winning, then I am done with that movie. So, although on that first Endgame, it looked like Thanos had won, but I knew it wasn't over, so I went back and saw the rest. All right, let's see if that's going to, oh, That shifted. The static can make it shift. So if your board has a lot of static, just be mindful of that. And then you can always use Post-it note to hold it in place if you have too much static. The cats apparently think it is time to eat and are making some noises. So if you can hear them, my apologies. All right, and let's see, I think we can cut out one more and it'll work out just perfectly. There we go. I think it's Lucky has decided it's time to eat. And it probably is. What are you making for dinner tonight? I'm going to make potato soup. I have a recipe where I can make my potato soup within about 45 minutes, half hour. It's a dairy-free, gluten-free soup, and I am, on this rainy day, looking forward to it. Actually, oh, I actually see some sun out there, but it's been raining much of the day. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and put these back in here because we don't want to lose them. And this one, see, I was looking at this one. It almost looks like coral. So if I need a little more green, I might just cut that out in green. This one is one whole stamp, die cut, not stamp. This is one whole die cut, but there is no stamp that is one whole like this. So I can't wait to play with that. So I was going to do, I'm trying to get this back in there. I was going to do this stamp set for June's card club, but now I'm leaning more towards, where is it? More towards this one for June, because one, we can do, I'll be doing graduation cards with this. So stay tuned. Next week's card will be a graduation card. So I know Covina was asking for graduation cards. Leftovers from Applebee's. Ooh, yum. You did do some crafting. Awesome. Soup is perfect for a rainy day, right? That's my go-to. A soupy day gets soup for dinner. That's the way I usually do. So I'm leaning towards this one for June. So you'll be seeing this for next week for the, what am I trying to say? For the graduation, for the make-along. I'll be using that stamp set. Let's go ahead and do the centers of these flowers, and I'm going to just use my black. I just really have this thing now about doing black centers. There we go. It doesn't look like it's going to fit, but it does fit. It does fit. It doesn't look like it's going to, but it does. So, all right. So now what we'll do is we need our sentiment, which is "You're absolutely amazing." Where's my... And I'm going to stamp that in the black. I do like my sentiments in a darker color so that they really stand out. So you can tap this. There you go, like that. You're absolutely amazing. And then I'm going to see about, let's see, that's too small. I think that might work, but let's see, it might not. Oh, it does. Good. So I'm using the 2-inch circle punch. Thank goodness they came back with these circle punches. So I have the 1 3/4 and the 2-inch, and then we also now have the 2 3/8 inch. But let me tell you, this has a stamp set that goes with it, and then you get a 10% discount. I forgot, and I ordered this without the stamp set, so now I had to pay full price for this and full price for the stamp set because I ordered them separately. So if you like that stamp set, make sure you get it as a bundle and save your 10%, right? Everyone say 10% if you like to say, or say save if you like to save money. So do that. Do that. All right, so I am going to take and bring in this blue a little bit more. I'm going to do this will be my first scrap of boho blue. I'm going to do another little circle. And I found with the circle, I learned today, with the circle punches, you don't want to lay them down like this. It's better to just close them all the way when you're done with them because they can shift and then they don't like to punch well. I didn't realize that. I haven't had any troubles with them, but I learned that that is a thing. All right, so we're just going to line it up like that, and it's going to go up here. We're going to go ahead and glue those together like that. Oh, I got a mark on there. Well, good thing I was going to put a flower over it. All right, so that's going to be up there like that. All right, and then we're going to put our flowers over here. All right, I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of those. If I can find some dimensionals to put on the back of those. Here we go. All right, so, and I'm just going to put one dimensional on each one in the center. That way it gives me some overlap room. And then we can layer up, and then we'll add those a little bit later. So I'm going to do that with these ones. And right now I'm not sticking them down. I'm just looking at it to see how I want it to go. All right, and we'll do that one over here. I think like that, and then what we'll do is we'll add the leaves around there. So now I can take off the little papers. All right, and I'll flip this over. And I don't want it too close to the ground, so I'm going to put it up there. And then I have this one over here. Then I have this one right there. Then I have this one, and I'm sliding it under because it has some, where I had the double cutting, it has a little bit of boo-boos. So we're going to hide those boo-boos by sliding it up under there. And then I'm going to take some glue and I'm going to get out my tweezers because those are so much easier to use. All right, you like the circle set? Yeah, I'm waiting on that stamp set to come in. I forgot that I saw the punch and just ordered it and totally forgot that it came with, that it came with something. So I'm going to stick this up under here like that to give there a little bit of green. And then I have another one over here. And I'm just putting the glue on it. I guess I could be zooming in for you, couldn't I? Putting the glue on it, and I'm going to stick this one under here. All right, and then I'll take another one and stick it up here. There we go. So we have our odd numbers because we have 4 sets of flowers and 3 leaves. Oops, now I've got to get in screen, right? And then I'm going to do this up here, but I'm going to add this. I think we're going to put dimensionals on the back of this. There we go. Dimensionals on the back of this. Yes, sometimes you can just take the circles and you can just layer them so that a little bit of the color shows without it being the whole thing. All right, so we'll do that, and then we'll add these flowers up over here because I have that little mark. Like that. And then we'll add a little leaf over here, sliding it underneath just to give it a little bit of the green, like that. And then I was thinking we could add some of these gems. These are the in color dots. I really like how they're kind of shiny. I really took a liking to these kinds of gems when these came out. So you'll see that I've been using these a fair amount. The other thing we could do, let's see, no, it won't really fit. Oh, you know what? If we use a pebble path in there, it would look really cool on that flower. All right, so we're going to use our take your pick tool, and it won't cover it completely. All right, come on, here we go. But it just gives the center of the flower a little more oomph. And then I'm going to use, I think, I'll use these little ones over here on this one. That, I'm liking this, I'm liking this. All right, and then I think we almost have to do it on all the flower centers. So I'm going to be using up all my little pebble paths on this card. But it's for Mom, right? So that's okay. They don't look like daisies though, but it doesn't matter. There we go. How do you like that? Let's see, the colors really don't show here. The colors show better. I'm not sure why the lighting is off today. It looks way darker in here than it is. All right, so there's that. And then on the inside, we will do the thank you for everything. Where'd my black go? I put my black away. All right. So we'll do the thank you for, where it is, here it is. Thank you for everything. And I'm going to put it down here. And then I'm going to stamp some more flowers on the inside. And I need to get my scratch paper because I'm going to be going off the card, because you know how I like to go off the card, especially with the inside stuff. So we'll do this one this way and this way and this way. And then we'll use the bubble bath. I always want to call it bubble gum. Don't you want to call it bubble gum? I want to call it bubble gum. We'll use the bubble bath to fill in those flowers. Oops, I missed a little bit, but that's okay. I'll just miss a little bit on all of them, and then it'll look like I did that on purpose. All right. So, and that's really the thing nowadays, is to have the colors kind of in and out like this. All right. Oh, see, there you go. All right. So there is the Mother's Day card. You're absolutely amazing. Thank you for everything. So this has got to go in the mail tomorrow. And I forgot an envelope. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to run, let me grab an envelope. I'm going to run the flap, because that's been my new thing, right? I'm going to run the flap through this, like this. And then the flap will be embossed and match along with the card. And I just find that so much easier. If you're using an embossing folder, then my favorite thing is to emboss the flap. It's quick, it's easy, it doesn't require a whole lot of thought and work to just run it through. So that has become my new thing, is if I'm using an embossing folder, then I emboss the flap. All right, and that way the card coordinates like this. All right, so there you go. We have a trail of flowers up one of the posts, and you're absolutely amazing. We have some more flowers falling around inside. Thank you for everything. And now your card for Mom is ready to go. Now, the other thing you want to keep in mind is the fact that you can use any flowers that you have. So any stamp set of flowers that you have will totally work for this, completely and totally. And then of course you can use any type of shape, or you could even stamp it right on there if you wanted. And you don't have to have the blue behind here. You could just keep it open, or you could put a different color. My friend Diane had used, I think, the larger flowers, and then she had used the Moody Mauve behind there, but I decided to go with the blue, the boho blue. So there you have our mystery card for today, instead of our make-along mystery card. So I will be sure to get those ingredients to you sooner rather than later. Since I substitute on Thursday and Friday, I will need to get that done before then. So I wish you a great rest of your day. I will see you back here tomorrow morning, Tuesday morning, so that we can, where'd my box go? We can, unpack my Norway box. All right, so we're going to do this tomorrow morning. I'll give you about a 15-minute heads up for that. I got to see how the morning goes, and then I will do that. And then, of course, Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. is Paper Pumpkin Play Date. And I am thinking of switching Paper Pumpkins back to the January one, where I am going to be using those cards and papers that I saved for graduation cards. All right, because it is time to start thinking about graduation cards. Mother's Day cards, if you don't get it in the mail in the next few days, you might be late. So make sure you get those cards in the mail to Mom or any mom figure. Like I have my mom, my mother-in-law, I have a childhood friend's mom who I call Mom, and then I have my husband's stepmom. So I have a lot of mom figures in my life that I need to get their cards out in the mail tomorrow. So it doesn't have to be your own mom if she's not around. There can be lots of other mom figures in your life. And then you don't have to say Happy Mother's Day if she is a mom to somebody besides having been a mom figure to you. You can still send her a card and let her know that you're thinking of her. So then it's on to graduation. So I will see you all tomorrow morning, probably around 10, for the unboxing of this Norway package. I can't wait to see what's in it. I know others have already unpacked. I didn't unpack it last week because we were asked not to unpack it too soon, so that everybody could get theirs and see it before the spoiler alerts. So I will see you tomorrow morning around 10 o'clock for the unboxing of my Norway box to see what is inside. I know it's a sweater and a jacket. I just don't know what it looks like because I have avoided all those other people's posts. So I'll see you then. Have a great night. Bye-bye.